Hi, I'm Todd Nauck. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So in today's art video, I am doing the line art to this Gambit sketch card. Hopefully you had a chance to see the Copic sketch marker video I did previously. If not, it's here on my channel. Make sure you give that a watch. But in the meantime, let's tackle the line art. So while I'm doing this pencil and inks for this sketch card, I thought I'd share with you 5 things you may or maybe don't know about Gambit. So let's just get right to it. Number 5. Gambit's controversial first appearance. And now, when I say controversial, I mean some people have a different opinion on what his first appearance is. And I remember buying these comics back in 1990. I think it was like the summer of 1990. Gambit appeared in Uncanny X-Men 266, which is considered his first appearance. But technically, he appeared in the Uncanny X-Men Annual number 14 just weeks prior to that, which was part of an annual crossover with New Mutants and Fantastic Four and X Factor. It was a part of the um, Days of Future Present storyline. And this was part 4 in Uncanny X-Men Annual number 14, where we see Gambit. That we don't just see him like in a panel. He is named, he has dialogue, and he appears on 10 pages of the action and the fight. He's a part of the story to a degree. I mean, he's there fighting the bad guys. So it's kind of more than a cameo. So people say Uncanny X-Men Annual 14 is the cameo first appearance of Gambit, and then Uncanny X-Men 266 is his first appearance. I was there, and I remember reading Uncanny X-Men Annual 14 first, and then buying Uncanny X-Men 266 when it came out. So I kind of fall into the category that Uncanny X-Men Annual number 14 is Gambit's first appearance. But your mileage may vary. Totally cool. No worries. Um, if you didn't know, Gambit did not officially join the X-Men until Uncanny X-Men 273. So there's a little side tidbit for you. Number 4, Gambit's power signature and the way his powers worked. We know historically Gambit would he holds things, and by touch he charges up the kinetic energy, makes them volatile. He throws them, and they explode. That's why he often carries playing cards as his weapon of choice. 52 shots right there in one deck. So that's how we've known him to use his power for decades. But when he first appeared, he didn't charge his items by touch. He charged them by his eyes, by looking at them, and green zip zap energy would shoot out to the object, and that is how he would charge the kinetic energy to make it volatile to throw and explode. So yeah, that's a bit of a change. I thought it would have been interesting if that's the way he always charged up the kinetic energy of his items. It was by looking at it. I think that could have made for interesting um, story possibilities. But and the green. I think the color change from green to the kind of pink magenta is a better choice. I think green just didn't quite work for him. I think the magenta was definitely the way to go, and that's how we know him to use his powers to this day. Touch, pink, charge up and throw. Number 3, before Gambit met Rogue, and he quickly took a shining to Rogue, can't blame him, he was engaged to be married in his younger days. Back in Louisiana, there was the Thieves Guild and the Assassins Guild, and Remy LeBeau, aka Gambit, was a part of the Thieves Guild, and there was potential war between these two factions. So leaders from these factions chose to um, wed their kids, have a Thieves Guild son and an Assassin's Guild daughter to get married, and that'll fix the problems, right? Marriage solves everything in this sort of context, and I guess maybe in that time, that era, that would solve problems to a degree, but I don't know if that's what I'd want to base a marriage on. Ultimately, I do not believe the marriage happened. They are Remy LeBeau and Belladonna Boudreaux are technically ex-fiancés, and maybe that's for the best. I think that helped Gambit steer clear of a lot of potential drama. Not to say there wasn't a lot of potential drama. There are stories where Belladonna shows up and she's none too happy. So I guess things worked out for Gambit, but Belladonna, her story is unfortunately got a lot of ups and downs. Haven't read them all, but the ones I have read, poor gal, poor gal. Hopefully things turn around for her at some point. But in the meantime, let's move on to topic number two. Number two, could Gambit have been the third Summers brother? So Cyclops and Havoc have been brothers since they were introduced in the 60s. But when Gambit was introduced, not long after, it was rumored that Marvel was going to do a storyline that made Gambit the third Summers brother. There might have been multiple Summers brothers, but that story didn't really come to pass. It was later revealed that Vulcan is the third Summers brother, but Chris Claremont did do a storyline on X-Men: The End, I believe it was, where Sinister created Gambit from his own DNA mixed with Cyclops DNA, and then the Thieves Guild stole Gambit as a baby. So there's an alternate reality where Gambit is a Summers brother, kind of, but then it didn't happen in the 616 Marvel universes, which is what we thought was going to happen. So I remember hearing that rumor when I was collecting the comics back in the 90s, and was very intrigued by that. Was curious how they were going to make that happen. Ultimately, though, I don't believe that was ever the case, aside from alternate realities. And number one, this one, I remember the rumor going around, and it had me a little spun out. I was a bit shook by this idea. It was rumored that Chris Claremont had intended for Gambit to have been Longshot all along. And if you didn't know, Longshot is a character from the 1980s, created by Ann Nocenti, Arthur Adams, and Carl Potts. And a great character, and he was introduced into, or he joined the X-Men later in the 80s and became a member of the Australian Outback era team, one of my favorite eras for the X-Men. As the story progressed, the X-Men they had to escape, they left, all different reasons. Some of them went through the Siege Perilous, and for some reason in my memory, I always thought that Longshot went through the Siege Perilous. Apparently he didn't. He left before they had to escape through the Siege Perilous. You might be saying, Todd, what is a Siege Perilous? Siege Perilous was this kind of crystal artifact that was kind of like this portal or doorway, and you would go through it, you would kind of be judged, and it would spit you out somewhere else, maybe with your memories, without your memories. You'd be changed in some way, sometimes drastically, like Psylocke. She went from armored British Psylocke to Ninja Lady Mandarin Psylocke, and will stay that way for decades. Some people, like Havoc, ended up in the mutant nation of Genosha, just off the coast of Africa, as a military magistrate with no memories of his time with the X-Men. Some people, like Storm, got de-aged. No, wait, did Storm? See, after 30 years, it's hard to remember all the specifics. I should probably go back and reread all those stories. But the thing is, Longshot was gone. Gambit shows up, and somehow did Longshot become Gambit, and was he going to revert back? So I was kind of like, Longshot being one of my favorites, is like, no, I want Longshot to always be Longshot. And Gambit, I like Gambit. Let's let Gambit be Gambit. And fortunately, that's the way it went. There was such a strong reception to Gambit. People were so into Gambit that Marvel's like, okay, hold on, let's scrap this idea and like Gambit be Gambit. Longshot can come back as Longshot, and we can explain where he had been. Probably, I think it was in the Mojo verse, continuing his revolution there. And yeah, now that's what I understand it to be. Again, these are rumors, but I definitely remember that idea going around to the comic shops when I was younger about Gambit's really Longshot. The Siege Perilous changed Gambit. It changed Longshot into Gambit. That was one of my favorite rumors, X-Men rumors, is that Longshot could have been turned into Gambit and would have had to have been reverted back. So those are 5 things you may or may not have known about Gambit. And yeah, thanks so much for hanging out with me. Hopefully you enjoyed watching me draw, and I will hopefully have more art videos for you soon. In the meantime, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and You can hit the notification bells to alert you for whenever I am able to upload new videos. I have a 3-parter that I'm working on that I hope to get edited soon, but I've got a lot of work to do. Hopefully you've been keeping up with my comic book work. I got some comics coming out. I got some covers coming out. Stay tuned to all my social media, which is linked in the video description below, where I post as regularly as I can to let people know about where to find my comic book work. I want to say thank you for all of your support for my comics and for my videos. And yeah, until next time, I'm Todd Nauck. Keep on drawing, keep having fun. See you later, everybody. Bye-bye. But I am doing the line art for this Gambit sketch card. Hopefully you saw the Copic marker sketch marker color video, sketch marker color marker, but the color sketch card marker color video. Come on. Now providing the providing, is it really providing? So here's the line art video for this Scambit. Created a new character, Scambit. Copyright Todd Nauck 2025. He first appeared in the X-Men comic book series. Belladonna, she's a mutant. Her powers are astral projection. Ruined a perfectly good take.